I was sitting across the table from some older entrepreneurs and businessmen, and one by one they started sharing the stories of their careers and where they're at now. And terrifyingly enough, I heard every single one of them say some version of, one day I woke up, got ready for work, and said, "Is this it?" I could hear some regret in their voice as they reflected on the moment that they realized that the career or business that they've worked so hard at sacrificed so many hours away from their kids, family, and friends. It simply didn't provide the fulfillment that they thought it would. Now, I could tell they were not knocking meaningful work or saying that they shouldn't have focused on the long term. They were very skilled and hardworking individuals. This was deeper than that, though. This was a revelation that one of the core things that they thought deep down was going to provide them a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment wasn't actually doing it for them. And they may have realized that 40 years too late. Now, even as a 20-something who thoroughly enjoys indulging myself in my work, it would be incredibly naive to waive what they had said and put it off to something like they chose the wrong career, they were trying to get some fulfillment in work that work was never meant to provide, or they just had other problems in life and they didn't want to deal with it, so work wasn't escapable. Maybe it doesn't matter as much as how they got there as the fact that they were all saying the same thing, regardless of how or when they got to that point. I thought to myself, that thread that weaves through all of their stories is something I should not ignore. One thought experiment that came from this was asking myself, if I stopped working right now and looked back at my 6-year-long career so far, would I say it's brought me the satisfaction I thought it was going to? I would say no, because I've still got a long way to go and many years to accomplish all of the achievements that I would want to. But then would I say the same thing in 12 months, 5 years, 30 years from now? And I pinpointed it. That's where that sneaky thought pattern is, that only the future things will bring deep satisfaction and fulfillment, and not the things that I've done in the past or I'm currently doing. So maybe one conclusion I've had is that it's less about the achievements and goals that you get to look back on that you did, but it's about the healthy pursuit along the way is where the fulfillment comes from, AKA it's the journey, not the destination. But I think there's something more important here than just that. As they told me their stories, none of them failed to mention all of the people that they wish they had spent more time with along the way. Their wives, their kids, their friends, and their stories of this realization they had. Not only was it not about how they got there or even what they missed, but about who they missed getting to spend time with. Later on, I couldn't help but reflect on all the times that I have missed with others on family vacations, get-togethers, holidays, etc. because I was just too busy working, or worse yet, having work on my mind when I'm talking or trying to have fun with my family and friends. Wouldn't it be a shame to miss out on the moments with others that I would get fulfillment from right now because I'm so caught up in thinking about or I'm doing the thing that won't actually bring the long-term fulfillment that I think it will? Kind of makes you think about what your priorities are in life, or rather, who your priorities are. This video is not against working really hard or putting in really long hours on a personally meaningful occupation. But I've got to admit that I've been questioning the idea of soaking myself so deeply into an ambition that I think is just gonna do it for me, that time and time again I have heard other people say and have experienced myself that honestly it's not gonna bring me what I think it will. A good litmus test that I put myself through when I found myself leaving the trail of being present with others is when I become increasingly obsessed with if-then statements. If I could just have X, then I would have Y. If I were only able to work harder at this, then I would have more money, time, friendships, possessions, etc. But time flies, and the moments I could have spent with friends and family a year ago are no longer here. I could have spent more time on vacation, hanging out with my cousins, or had more conversations with my parents, or take my wife out on more dates. I still can, but I was so focused on work for so long that I didn't always do those things that often. And that time has since passed. And that freaking sucks. And that's what this whole thing that I'm trying to start here is about. That I, through my experience, learnings, and experimentation, can document my findings and collaborate with others so that we can all get closer to living a little more present.